Good morning. Today we are visited by our shop owner, Jared. Good morning, Jared.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm fantastic.
Excellent. I'm very happy to hear that. I have a question regarding artistic freedom. Now, I don't know if it's broadly understood, so if you would, go ahead and tell me what artistic freedom looks like and how it's applied in, say, booking a tattoo.
Well, first let's go back a little bit on the history of this and why a lot of people aren't aware about this is years ago and even still today you have a lot of tattoo shops, but it was the common thing in tattoo shops years ago that you would just go in and pick something off the wall, right? You have flash art hanging on the wall. Very rarely was something customized or drawn for you. It was once in a while, but the artistic freedom didn't exist. So I think there became this norm of people just thought it was common to walk into the tattoo shop and tell the tattoo artist what they want, right? Or pick it off the wall. And it became this kind of dictating style of art, which is strange if you think about it, because we don't do that in any other industry, right? We let the professional do what professionals do. I say it a lot. I compare it to like a plumber. I have a plumber come to my house and say, hey, I need this fixed, but this is how I want you to do it. This is how I want you to do your job. I'm like, no, the end result is I just want it fixed. I don't care how they achieve that. So artistic freedom is really similar. You're finding an artist whose work you like, and obviously they accomplish that by their own process. And so you need to trust and let them do their thing. So the least amount of information, the better, and you give them the freedom to create and to do their job. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that absolutely answers my question. Now, say if somebody agrees to give up that artistic freedom and then they come in and they're like, well, I want this here and that here and this like this and that like this. And I know that's not how you would typically conduct your art with your clients. But what does that really do to the piece if the client cannot give up control and thinks that they know what's best?
Well, it's gonna make it a horrible piece, right?
Right.
So for me, for example, I have boundaries. I just won't get involved with a client like that. If they won't give me artistic freedom, I'm not gonna do it, just because I care about my art enough and my work enough that I don't want to compromise it. And that's what I would be doing. I'd be like handing over control to somebody who not only doesn't do tattoos, isn't an artist, and probably doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about, right? It's just shit they like. But just because they like it doesn't mean it's going to make a good composition or a good piece of art.
Now, when we talk about obtaining minimal information, what does that look like if a client is wanting a piece? Do you look for themes? Do you look for characters? What's a good amount of information for you?
I think what I like to focus on the most is the end result. Like what are they going for? Like if they want a sleeve, for example, and they're like, well, I just want it dark and macabre, right? Like something like that is enough for me that I'll make them like cool, like done. I don't need anything else. But some people do throw in more details. That just once you start getting to a high percentage, then the artistic freedom is gone, right? I think if you're down around 20-25% direction and the 75% is artistic freedom, then I think that's a good range.
And I think it's important to understand that, like, when you look through your portfolio, specifically, that is exactly how you conducted each and every one of those pieces. And if somebody wants that type of end result, this is the approach that they should really take, especially when they're working with you, and maybe even consider that when working with other artists as well.
Yes, 100%. And there are some artists still today that they want you to give them direction, right? In fact, they want you to tell them exactly what you want, but I don't consider them artists. I call them tattooists and tattoo artists, right? The tattooists, you control and you tell exactly what you want because they're not real artists in
So
most
one's
cases.
more performance, and the other one is like a perfection of art.
Yeah. When you have an artist with an art background and an education in art, they're not going to want to be controlled, right? They're going to want to create and do what they're good at.
Excellent. Well, I do appreciate your time on this manner, and I do think it's important to educate educate clients and future clients, letting them know what it takes to create something really beautiful while working with a very talented and artistic artist.
Well, you're welcome. I agree.
Well, I hope you have a beautiful day, Jared.
Thanks.